Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Beauty of Language. So I hope all of you are doing well, right? So today I'm going to give you an overall summary of all that happened in Act 4, all 3 scenes. Okay, only 3 scenes are there. Okay, so see, this is basically the shorts which I make. No, shorts are in fragments. Now here you will find the same content that I would put in the shorts, but I have all compiled it together and make it a long video. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं सोचना है कि इतनी बड़ी लॉन्ग वीडियो मैं कैसे देखूं, इतना लंबा, इतना टाइम नहीं है, 1 hour बिफोर द एग्जाम, 2 hours बिफोर द एग्जाम. नो, you sit, watch, and your preparation is complete. Okay, so the whole summary of Act 3 scene wise has also been uploaded. Do check it out as well after finishing this. So when I was in 12th, we had the same drama back then, almost 16 years ago. So I have prepared this in such a way so that you get an idea of all that happened in a particular scene, and with an experience of about 12 years teaching both ICSE and CBSE students, I know what kind of questions are asked in the exam. So in this video, I'm also going to discuss the questions that were asked last year in boards, that is in 2025, and those that can be asked. And drama alone will help you get around 32 marks. So if you prepare well for it, then at least 30 marks is saved. So being an ICSE student, you know how important the character sketches are from the drama, right? So I have uploaded the character sketches of important characters in the shorts on my channel. Do check them out. Also, the detailed explanations of the poems in the IAC syllabus Rhapsody have also been uploaded. Dekh lena. And if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For notes of Macbeth, visit my website beautyoflanguage.in, where you will find the suggestions for all the type of questions that can be asked in the exam from this particular scene, okay? Because discussing all of them here is not possible, okay? Now, one more thing to tell you all is that I have deliberately used some specific words and phrases in the explanation so that you can use them in your answers. Now, it is always gonna be helpful for you all in getting marks, and in case you don't understand the meanings anywhere, okay, or you don't understand anything anywhere, then please comment below, let me know, I'll explain to you all. So a quick context before what happened before Act 4 Scene 1 is that after Banquo's murder and the escape of Fleance, his son, in Act 3, Macbeth grows more insecure. Okay, at the banquet, he sees Banquo's ghost and it terrifies him. As a result of this, others are now suspicious about his mental state. Okay, so Macbeth realizes that he must take control over his fate. So in order to know what's next, he decides to visit the witches again. So his ambition and fear, it now drive him more than reason or morality. Moving ahead to the Act 4 Scene 1. So the scene opens in a dark and eerie cave. Eerie, you understand, no? Eerie means strange, frightening, okay? So the 3 witches, they stand around a bubbling cauldron. Cauldron, you understand? एक बड़ा सा, what we call it, kadhai. Okay, so they are throwing strange and horrible ingredients into it. So thunder cracks and the atmosphere, it feels very dangerous and definitely supernatural. So they chant their famous spell. Okay, they prepare a charm before Macbeth arrives. Now suddenly Macbeth enters and now he speaks with authority, which is far different from the hesitant soldier that we saw earlier. He now demands answers from the witches, okay? Because now he is completely determined to know his future. Witches, on the other hand, instead of answering directly, they summon 3 apparitions, okay? Apparitions, ghosts, spirits, shadow, okay? So the first apparition, very important. The first apparition is an armed head. So it warns Macbeth to beware of Macduff. So Macbeth feels confirmed in his suspicion and decides that Macduff is now a target. The second apparition appears as a bloody child. So it tells Macbeth that no man born of a woman can harm him. Now on seeing this, Macbeth feels powerful and almost invincible. The third apparition is a crowned child holding a tree. It says that Macbeth will never be defeated until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane Hill. So Macbeth thinks that this is completely impossible, so he believes that his rule is secure now. Now, in this context, there was a question asked in Boards 2025 that in Act 4, Scene 1 of the play, he gets angry at the witches when they show him the vision of the line of kings, because okay, so it was 1 mark question. You had to give the reason. They had to give the reason. So it shows Banquo's children will become kings, which is putting Macbeth's power and future rule in danger. But Macbeth, he wants more information. He asks if Banquo's descendants will ever rule Scotland. In response to this question, a procession of 8 kings appears, and the last one is holding a mirror, and all of them are resembling Banquo. So Banquo's ghost stand behind them smiling. So Macbeth realizes that prophecy, it still stands. Banquo's line will rule, not Macbeth's. On saying this, he is furious and completely shaken. So after Macbeth leaves, the witches, they perform a final charm and they vanish. And immediately Lennox arrives with the news that Macbeth has fled to England. So Macbeth decides to act without hesitation. Instead of targeting only Macduff, he makes a more brutal decision that he will kill Macduff's family. So this moment shows that Macbeth has crossed from an ambitious person to ruthless and tyrannical person. So this scene is extremely important because it pushes Macbeth further into darkness. He becomes overconfident due to the prophecies, but he is also terrified of Banquo's legacy and Macduff. So the witches give him answers, yet they twist fate in such a way that it leads him closer to destruction. So his choice to murder an innocent family, it marks the point where his humanity is almost completely gone. Now from this act, he can be asked a long answer type question that the prophecies in Act 4 give Macbeth confidence but also lead to his destruction. Discuss. That was all about Act 4 Scene 1. Now let's move on to Act 4 Scene 2. So the scene now moves to Macduff's castle at 5. So Lady Macduff, she's upset and very confused because she cannot understand that why her husband has left without telling her. Now to her it feels like abandonment. उसे लग रहा है कि उसके पति ने उसे छोड़ दिया. Abandonment, you understand? No, अकेला छोड़ देना, मतलब छोड़ देना. So she questions his love, his wisdom, and even his courage. Her son there, he tries to comfort her, speaking playfully and very cleverly. Okay, so their conversation here, it creates a very sweet moment, and this makes the coming tragedy even more painful because as an audience we know what is going to happen next, right? So in this context, there was a 5-mark question asked in the boards that how does Lady Macduff respond to her husband's sudden departure in Act 4 Scene 2? What does her response suggest about her nature? Okay, now listen to its answer very carefully. It is a 5-mark question, so your answer will have to be detailed, adding quotations from the play. Okay, so Lady Macduff reacts to Macduff's sudden departure with shock and anger. Okay, she feels abandoned, just as I said now, and believes that he has left his family completely unprotected. She questions his wisdom and love, saying, he loves us not. He wants the natural touch and compares him unfavorably to even a small bird that instinctively protects its young. Her words show her deep sense of betrayal and fear as she feels helpless without her husband. So her reaction also highlights her bold and outspoken nature as she openly criticizes Macduff without holding back. At the same time, her conversation with her son reveals her intelligence and emotional strength. She speaks to him with humor and affection, using playful but meaningful words despite the danger that is surrounding them. Her final statement, that is, I have done no harm, it reflects her innocence and moral purity. Obviously, she did not do any harm, right? It emphasizes her tragic position as a victim of Macbeth's cruelty. So overall, Lady Macduff appears as a strong, loving and honest woman who is deeply hurt by her husband's absence, but facing her fate with courage and dignity. So this was the whole answer, okay? A messenger, he suddenly enters and warns Lady Macduff to take her children and run. So he cannot explain the danger, but he knows that it is urgent. So Lady Macduff, she hesitates. She's unsure where to go. Now, a few moments later, Macbeth's hired murderers, they burst into the house. The killers, they ask that where Macduff is. Lady Macduff, she bravely defends her husband, even though she knows that they have come for violence. Okay, the murderers, they turn to her son, they call him a traitor's child and stab him. The boy dies, and even in his last moment, he asks his mother to run. So Lady Macduff, she's chased, she screams and tries to escape, but she's chased off stage, and we all know that she will be killed as well. Now, this scene is very heartbreaking. It shows how far Macbeth has fallen. He once killed only for power, but now he kills out of fear and cruelty. Macbeth thinks that killing Macduff's family, it will weaken him. But in reality, it creates the passion and fury that will later destroy Macbeth himself. So there was an MCQ question asked, from this scene in Boards 2025, that how does Ross describe Macduff to Lady Macduff in Act 4, Scene 2 of the play? So these were the options. So what will be the correct option? So he describes Macduff as noble, wise and judicious, the first option. So in Act 4, Scene 2, Ross tells Lady Macduff that her husband is a good and sensible man, because at that point she was doubting her husband that he doesn't love her. He describes Macduff as noble, wise and judicious, which means that Macduff is honorable. He thinks carefully and makes the right decisions. That is all about Act 4, Scene 2. Let's move ahead to Act 4, Scene 3. Okay, so the scene, it takes place in England. Malcolm and Macduff finally meet. But Malcolm, he does not trust Macduff immediately. He fears Macduff might be working for Macbeth, trying to trick him into returning to Scotland so Macbeth can kill him. Okay, and this fear is genuine. Okay, anyone in his place would fear that. Malcolm, he tests Macduff by pretending he would be a worse king than Macbeth. Greedy, lustful and violent. Now in this context, there was one mark question asked in Boards 2025, that in Act 4, Scene 3 of the play, Macbeth, Malcolm is suspicious of Macduff's intentions because, why? Because he suspects that Macduff could be working for Macbeth, okay, pretending to help him while secretly trying to trick and betray him. Macduff, when he heard Malcolm, that he's worse ruler, so he's completely shocked. He argues that a ruler must be honorable, wise and just. Okay, just, you understand, no? Fair. So when Macduff finally loses hope and cries for Scotland, Malcolm realizes that his sorrow, it is genuine. Now this proves that Macduff loves his country more than personal power. So Malcolm then reveals the truth that he is not actually like that. He only pretended to see Macduff's loyalty. He agrees to unite with him against Macbeth. So at this moment, Ross arrives from Scotland with a very heartbreaking news. So after hesitation and pain, he finally tells Macduff that Macbeth has brutally murdered his wife and children. On hearing this, Macduff is devastated. His grief, it turns into burning anger. He blames himself for not being there to protect them. And at this moment, Malcolm, he encourages him to channel this pain to fight Macbeth. So Macduff, he swears revenge not just as a political duty but as a personal mission. So the scene ends with Malcolm and Macduff preparing to return to Scotland with the English army. They seem to be determined to end Macduff's tyranny also. So this scene is very crucial because it shows the start of Macbeth's biggest threat. The murder meant to silence Macduff, it becomes the spark that will destroy Macbeth himself. So Malcolm, he finds trust in Macduff, Scotland gains hope, and the stage is set for the final confrontation. So you can be asked long answer question in this context that compare Lady Macbeth and Lady Macduff as presented in Act 4. Okay, so I hope you got an overall idea of all that happened in Act 4. If you have got any queries regarding this act or any of the acts, then you can comment below. I'll answer all of them. Or if you want a video on any of the important topics in Macbeth, then do let me know. I'll see you in my next video where I'm going to discuss Act 5, all the scenes of Macbeth. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.